The sky above planet Eloria was always blue, peaceful, calm. The people there lived simple lives. They farmed. They sang songs by glowing rivers. Children played under the floating trees. They had no weapons. They had no army. They trusted the galaxy would leave them alone. But trust means nothing when monsters come. Without warning, black ships appeared in the sky. Big, sharp, deadly ships. The Zarin Empire had arrived. Sirens blared across the villages. Elorian parents grabbed their children and ran. But there was nowhere to go. The ships fired energy blasts that turned homes into fire. Screams echoed. Smoke swallowed the sky. The air smelled of fear and ash. A young Elorian girl, no older than 8, hid beneath a broken wooden table. Her hands clutched a small silver object, a strange beacon her mother once told her to never touch unless things went very wrong. Her mother was gone now. She pressed the button. Far away, in deep space, a satellite hidden inside an asteroid caught the signal. It blinked once, then twice. Then it sent a pulse through the stars straight to Earth. On Earth, the signal reached a large underground command center. Screens lit up. Red warnings flashed. A tired voice called out, "Commander Voss, urgent signal from Eloria." "Commander." Jace Voss walked into the room. He was tall, built like steel, but his eyes were calm, cold. He had seen too much war. He had seen what the galaxy could do when no one stood up. "Put it on screen," he said. The footage played. Screams, fires, Zarin warships, a child crying. Then static. No one in the room spoke. Voss looked at the officers around him. "They attacked Eloria?" "Yes, sir," one officer said. "The colony had no weapons, just civilians. They murdered the innocent." Voss whispered, then louder, "Where's the Valor?" "In orbit, fully armed, waiting for orders." Voss clenched his fists. His voice was ice. "Tell them to prepare for launch." Above Earth, the warship Valor glowed against the stars. It was not the biggest ship in the galaxy, but it was one of the smartest, built by humans, powered by Earth's newest AI core. It could fight alone and win. As Voss stepped onto the bridge, the AI spoke, "Commander Voss, engaging this mission may lead to full-scale war. Are you sure?" "Play back the footage," he replied. The AI paused, then showed the child's face. Again, her tears, her silent cry for help. Voss nodded. "I'm sure." In deep space, the Valor jumped into hypersped. As it raced toward Eloria, Voss sat alone in his chamber. He stared at the stars. He remembered something his mother once told him. "If no one protects the innocent, then who are we?" Suddenly, the IS voice cut through the silence. "Commander, I'm detecting another ship following us, cloaked. Unknown design." Voss stood. "How close?" "2 clicks behind us. Silent, tracking us since launch. Can you scan it?" "I can try, but it's advanced." "Not Zarin," Voss's mind raced. "Send a decoy drone. Make it look like we're changing course. Then swing behind the tailing ship. Quietly." The Valor moved like a shadow. Within minutes, it was behind the cloaked vessel. "Now!" Voss shouted. The Valor fired a disabling pulse. The cloaked ship sparked, lost power, and floated helplessly. A boarding crew entered the strange ship. Inside, they found no crew, just one empty room, one chair. And on that chair, a metal cube. Voss examined it himself. When he touched it, a message played. A calm voice spoke in a strange language. The AI translated, "The galaxy is watching. Act and you will be judged." The room went silent. Voss whispered, "Judged for what? Saving lives?" One of his officers looked nervous. "Sir, should we stand down?" Voss looked at him. "They burned children alive. And now someone wants to judge us for answering the call?" He turned back to the stars. "We move forward. Let them watch." When the Valor reached Eloria, it was too late. The cities were gone. Forests burned. Floating trees lay on the ground like dead birds. But then, a signal. "Commander," said the AI. A life sign, weak, under rubble. A rescue crew rushed to the signal. Under broken stone and ash, they found her, the girl who pressed the beacon. She was barely breathing, but alive. Voss knelt beside her. She opened her eyes, saw the Earth symbol on his uniform, and whispered, "You came." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "We always come." Back on the ship, Voss made a decision. "This ends now." He gave the order. "Target Zarin supply convoys. We don't need to conquer, just cut their power." The eye responded, "Order confirmed. But this will escalate." Voss didn't blink. "Let it escalate." Hours later, across the galaxy, Zarin ships exploded in silence. Convoys vanished. Fuel depots burned. And on every destroyed site, the Valor left a message: "For the innocent you killed." Panic spread in Zarin High Command. They had thought Earth was weak, a small blue planet with loud voices and peaceful treaties. They were wrong. The Zarin Emperor slammed his fist into the table. "Send them a message." Back on the Valor, the crew received a new transmission. It was from the Zarian Empire. It showed 10 alien colonies, peaceful, unarmed, now hostages. The Emperor's voice echoed, "Withdraw now, or we destroy every one of them. You have 1 hour." The screen went black. Everyone on the bridge looked at Voss. He said nothing. Then he turned to the AI. "How long to track all 10 locations?" "Already done, Commander." "Prepare strike. Teams, we save who we can." "And the Zarin?" Voss narrowed his eyes. "They started this." He walked back to his chair. "Now we end it." The stars outside Earth's orbit were quiet, but deep inside the ground, behind thick steel and endless machines, war had already begun. Commander Voss stood in the center of Earth's Defense Council. His face was tired, his uniform covered in dust from the burned planet Eloria. The rescued Elorian girl rested in the medical bay, breathing but still silent. Her face haunted his thoughts. The council chamber was full. Military officers, politicians, scientists, all watching a large screen. On it played the same video again. Zarin ships attacking peaceful villages, and the girl's voice whispering, "You came." "We cannot ignore this anymore," Voss said. "We promised the galaxy that Earth would never start a war. But we also made a second promise, one we never wrote on paper. A silent one. We protect the innocent." A general crossed his arms. "If we fight the Zarin, the war could spread to dozens of systems. Millions may die." "They're already dying," Voss said, voice firm. "If we stay silent now, Earth becomes like the rest of them." Another council member asked quietly, "Do we have the strength?" Voss looked up at the stars on the ceiling. "We have the strength. What we need is courage." There was silence. Then, one by one, the council stood and nodded. Earth would not run. Not this time. Outside the solar system, the Earth warship Valor hovered near a dead moon. The ship was hidden behind its rocky surface, silent and unseen. The eye voice spoke softly. "Commander, the Zarin convoy is 2 hours from target. Shall we proceed with the strike?" Voss walked to the viewing window. The stars stretched on forever, cold and endless. He closed his eyes for a second. "Begin preparation. Silent entry only. No destruction unless fired upon." "Understood." Around the Valor, drones detached like shadows. Small, fast, and quiet, they slid into the darkness, heading toward the convoy like wolves on the hunt. Meanwhile, in a quiet lab deep inside the ship, Lieutenant Mara inspected a strange metal cube, the same one found on the cloaked ship that followed them earlier. She called Voss over the comm. "Commander, I've decoded more of the message inside the cube." "Go ahead," he replied. Mara looked uneasy. It's not just a warning, it's a judgment. They're watching to see how we respond. They've done this to other species. Before, most failed their test, Voss frowned. What happens when they fail? I don't know. But no one hears from them again. Keep digging. We're not failing anything. An hour later, the Zarin convoy entered the ambush. Zone, the Valor moved fast. It didn't destroy, it disabled. One by one, Zarin cargo ships shut down, engines cut off, weapons frozen by EMP blasts. It was a clean strike. Inside the lead Zarin ship, Commander Tharos shouted in rage. Who dares do this? Before his crew could respond, a message appeared. On every Zarin screen, this is Earth. Stop harming the innocent, or we will stop you. Tharos smashed the console. Bring me Earth's location. I want fire raining down on their cities. But there was no reply. Earth had already disappeared from their radar. Back on the Valor, the team celebrated quietly. No deaths. Mission complete. But celebration didn't last long. The AI spoke. Commander, incoming transmission from the Zarin Empire. Emergency channel. Put it through. The screen lit up with the face of the Zarin Emperor. His red skin was marked with tattoos of war. His voice was slow and dangerous. You have made a mistake, Earth. We gave you peace, and you returned. Fire. You gave us blood, Voss replied coldly. And we will not stand down. The Emperor laughed. You are new to this galaxy. You do not understand power. Then teach us, Voss said. The screen cut off. A second later, alarms rang through the ship. The AI shouted, Commander! Zarin ships have entered our solar system. They've reached the neutral colony of Tyrannus. It's a farming world, no weapons. Voss didn't wait. Plot course, full speed. As the Valor raced toward Tyrannus, a terrible message was broadcast. Across the galaxy, the Zarin were live-streaming the bombing of the farming colony. People watched in horror as buildings exploded. Families ran. And the Zarin placed a message at the bottom of the screen. This is what happens when you follow Earth. But something went wrong with their broadcast. Suddenly, the camera view changed. It showed the Zarin soldiers falling. Not to gunfire, but to smoke bombs nets. And stealth TAKEDOWNS. A figure appeared behind them. Human. Wearing Earth armor. A voice spoke calmly through the broadcast. You thought we wouldn't be here. The galaxy gasped. Commander Voss had sent a secret unit to Tyrannus before the main attack. It was a gamble. It worked. That unit saved over 1,000 lives in minutes. The Zarin forces were pushed back. The Valor arrived soon after and cleaned up the rest. Back on the bridge, Voss watched the rescue footage. The Elorian girl, now awake, watched with him. That's what you do? She asked softly. Save people? Voss turned to her and nodded. That's what Earth does. Or should do. Later that night, Earth's council sent out a broadcast to the entire galaxy. A simple message. No threats. No anger. Just this. We are Earth. We will not conquer. We will not start wars. But if you harm the innocent, we will find you. We will stop you. And we will protect those who cannot protect themselves. Many alien leaders watched the message and stayed silent. But the people, they heard it. They remembered it. And in small corners of the galaxy, civilians started drawing this symbol on their walls. A simple blue circle, Earth's symbol, a symbol of protection. But in the shadows of space, something else moved. In a dark corner of the galaxy, far beyond Zarin space, a hidden observer turned off their screen. A voice echoed in an ancient language. They passed the second test. Let us see how far their promise will go. Space was quiet. Too quiet. Commander Voss stood on the bridge of the Valor, staring at the endless stars. His ship had just completed 2 successful missions, disabling Zarin supply lines and saving innocent colonies. The galaxy seemed to hold. its breath. Then the AI's calm voice broke the silence. "Commander, the cloaked ship is still following us." Voss frowned. "How close?" "Too close. It's keeping perfect distance. Neither attacking nor retreating." "Why not attack?" Voss muttered. "What do they want?" Lieutenant Mara looked up from the console. "It could be a spy or worse." Voss nodded. "Prepare the stealth. Drones, I want eyes inside that ship." Minutes later, the drone slipped through the darkness, invisible to sensors, approaching the cloaked vessel. Back on the Valor, the bridge waited, tense. Suddenly, the drone's feed showed a control room. Strange symbols flashed on the walls. No living beings were visible. Only one thing sat in the middle, a single ancient-looking chair. "Empty?" Mara whispered. "Something's wrong," Voss said. "This is no normal ship." Then the drone's cameras caught movement. A hologram flickered on the wall. A voice, calm but cold, spoke in an alien tongue. The AI scrambled to translate. "You have been watched since you left Earth. Every move recorded, every choice judged." Voss's heart tightened. "Judged? By who?" The message continued. "The Clythe, guardians of balance. We test new species. Most fail, few pass." "Test?" Mara asked. "Why test humans?" "Because humans are new here and unpredictable," Voss answered. The holo flickered and showed images of other species. Many destroyed, many vanished. The last frame was a dark, empty space. "Those who fail disappear," the AI said quietly. Voss swallowed. "Then this test. It's a matter of life and death." The drone pulled back suddenly. "Commander," Mara shouted. "Ship is powering. Up weapons. Shields up. Prepare for battle." The Valor shook as the cloaked vessel fired a surprise blast. "Return fire!" Voss shouted. The fight was quick and brutal. The Valor dodged, shot, and disabled the enemy ship. But before it drifted powerless, the cloaked vessel sent one last message. "We do not want war, but we will watch." Voss sat back. His mind raced. "We have enemies watching us in the dark. Not all want to fight. Some want to test." Mara looked worried. "So, what do we do now?" "We keep moving forward," Voss said. "We protect the innocent, no matter who watches." Days later, the Valor entered the orbit of a small gas giant. On its surface was a strange stone. The AI scanned the ground and found an ancient carving. Voss walked to the screen as the symbol appeared, a circle with a dot in the middle. "What is it?" Mara asked. The AI replied, "The Clythe symbol. Means watcher or judge." Voss touched the screen. "They left this here for us to find. A warning. Or a promise." Suddenly, the ship's communication channels opened. A voice, deep and steady, spoke. "Humans, your actions echo through the galaxy. You have courage, but also danger. Prove your heart is true, or be destroyed." Voss's eyes burned with determination. "We don't ask for war. We ask for peace. But if peace means watching the innocent die, then we will fight." The voice replied calmly, "We will see." Then silence. Voss turned to his crew. "We are not alone in this fight. Others are watching. We must be ready not just for enemies who attack, but for those who judge." Mara nodded. "So the galaxy's future depends on us?" "Yes," Voss said. "Because protecting the innocent is not just a choice. It's our promise." As the Valor prepared to jump to its next target, the stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter. But in the shadows, the watchers waited. The stars were cold, silent watchers as the Valor drifted near the edges of the Zaran Empire. Commander Voss stood on the bridge, eyes sharp and focused. "Commander," the AI reported, "we found the largest Zaran fuel depot. Disabling. It will cripple their fleet for months." Voss nodded slowly. "This is our chance, but we strike carefully. We don't want a full war yet." Lieutenant Mara's fingers danced across the control panel. Stealth drones are ready. We can hit it without detection, but it must be quick. Vos turned to his crew. Remember, our goal is to protect the innocent. We disable their power, but we do not kill civilians. The Valor moved silently through the shadows of a gas giant. The depot was a vast fortress floating in space, glowing with dangerous energy. Prepare drones, Vos ordered. Send them in. The drones slipped forward like ghosts, small and invisible. They reached the depot's energy cores, suddenly. Alarms blared inside the depot. Commander, Mara said. They detected us. Vos clenched his jaw. Begin EMP blast. Shut down their systems. The depot's lights flickered and died. Silence followed, but the silence was broken by an explosion. One of the depot's fuel tanks blew up, sending fire into space. Collateral damage, Vos said quietly. Unfortunate, but necessary. Back on the Valor, the crew watched as the Zarin ship scrambled. A message appeared on every enemy screen. This is Earth. Stop harming the innocent, or we will stop you. The Zarin Emperor's face appeared on the Valor's screen. His voice was cold and angry. You think you can cripple us and walk away? You will pay for this, Vos stood. The price of mercy is protection. We will pay it. In a hidden Zarin command room, Commander Tharos clenched his fists. They struck without warning. This is war. His second-in-command warned. Sir, Earth's message is spreading. Some of our own question our actions. Tharos growled. No one questions the Empire. Prepare counterattack. Meanwhile, in the Valor's medical bay, the Elorian girl woke. She looked around, confused but alive. Vos entered softly. You're safe now. She smiled weakly. Thank you. You fight for us. We fight for all who cannot fight, Vos sighed. Days passed, but the galaxy was changing. Alien worlds whispered about Earth's strike. Some cheered in secret. Others prepared for war. On the Valor, Mara leaned over Vos's shoulder. Commander, new data. Other empires watch us closely. Now. Some are scared, others curious. Vos nodded. Let them watch. We fight for those who cannot defend themselves. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up a new signal. Commander, Mara said. An unknown vessel approaches. No weapons. But it's large, Vos frowned. Open comes. A calm voice answered. Earth, you have made your stand. But the galaxy is vast and full of eyes. Not all watch with kindness. Vos stared at the screen. Then we will show them why humanity protects the innocent. The Valor moved forward, ready for the next challenge. But the galaxy was watching, and not all watchers were friends. The air on the Valor felt heavy. Not from gravity, but from what had just happened. Across the galaxy, Earth had made its first strike. Zarin supply lines were hit. One of their largest fuel depots was destroyed. Earth's warning had been clear. Stop hurting the innocent, or we will stop you. But monsters don't listen to warnings. Commander Vos, said the AI. Incoming broadcast. Live from the Zarin Empire. Vos stepped onto the bridge. The crew gathered behind him. The screen lit up. The Zarin Emperor appeared, his dark red eyes glowing with hate. Behind him were rows of terrified civilians, alien colonists from peaceful planets. This is your fault. Earth, the Emperor said coldly. Your little attacks have consequences. For every supply ship you destroy, we take another colony. Gasps spread across the bridge. On screen, the Emperor raised his hand. Soldiers dragged a crying child to the front. Vos clenched his fists. Stop it, he said sharply. This isn't war, it's murder. The Emperor smiled. Withdraw, Earth. Give up your ships. Your threats, or this continues. Every hour. Then, before anyone could stop it, the child disappeared in a flash of light. One of the Zarin soldiers had pulled the trigger. The broadcast cut to black. Silence. Vos single quotes. His voice was cold and steady. He did that, just to scare us. Mara, standing beside him, was shaking. "Sir, we can't negotiate with them. We can't trust anything they say." Voss turned to his crew. "There will be no peace talks, not with monsters." That night, Voss sat alone in his command quarters, watching the replay. He hated watching it. But he needed to remember that there were still people out there who needed help. People the Zarin had taken. The door beeped. "Enter," Voss said. Lieutenant Mara stepped in, carrying a datapad. "Sir, I have something. A message from one of the colonies that the Zarin just captured." He took the pad. The video was shaky, recorded in secret. An alien woman whispered into the camera, her face bruised but her voice strong. "There's one of your people here, a human. He's undercover. He says help is coming. He says you don't leave the innocent behind." Voss's eyes narrowed. "A human agent inside the colony? Who?" Mara hesitated. "We think it's Lieutenant Gray. He went dark 2 weeks ago. Presumed dead." A slow smile touched Voss's lips. "He's not dead. He's waiting." The plan was simple, but dangerous. Rescue the hostages. Reveal the Zarin crimes to the galaxy. Make their lies useless. The Valor changed course. Quiet, hidden. Inside the Zarin prison colony, Lieutenant Gray moved through shadows. He wore stolen armor, his face hidden. He had helped dozens escape already, sneaking them through tunnels and waste systems. But time was running out. That morning, guards had dragged 10 new prisoners into the center square. Another execution. Another message to Earth. Gray whispered to the others, "Tonight we end this." He sent a pulse signal. Far above, the Valor received it. Mara grinned. "He's alive." Voss stood. "Launch the stealth team." The night fell over the prison colony. The crowd was forced into the square. Cameras were everywhere, ready to record another message of fear. The Zarin soldier raised his weapon, but before he could fire, smoke filled the air. Then explosions and screams. Earth's stealth team dropped from the sky. Quick, precise. They didn't kill unless they had to. Voss led them himself. Inside the smoke, Lieutenant Gray appeared, dragging prisoners to safety. "Commander," he called. Voss turned, stunned. "Gray?" Gray grinned. "Miss me?" "Later," Voss said. "Get them out." Within minutes, the prisoners were rescued. The cameras were still recording, but this time, it was Earth's voice they heard. Voss stood in front of the screen. "To the Zarin Empire," he said, "your lies are over. The galaxy has seen your truth." He turned to Gray. "Send the footage." The next day, every planet, every system received the video. It showed the truth. The innocent being executed. The human team saving lives. The Zarin lies exposed. Some Zarin allies pulled back. Others began questioning their emperor. And deep within neutral space, rebel factions reached out to Earth. One message stood out. "We thought we were alone, but now we believe in Earth." Back on the Valor, the crew gathered for a short moment of peace. Voss stood before them. "This war is not one we asked for, but it's one we will finish. Not with hate, but with protection. We don't fight to rule, we fight to defend. And we never ever negotiate with monsters." The crew stood and saluted. And far above them, in the cold stars, the shadows continued to watch. But now, Earth had allies, and monsters had something to fear. The stars looked calm, but Earth was not. The rescue mission from the Zarin colony had changed everything. The galaxy had seen the truth, the executions, the cruelty, the monsters Earth refused to kneel to. And now, Earth was ready to strike. Back. Commander Voss stood on the bridge of the Valor, staring at a glowing map of Zarin space. His jaw was tight, his eyes cold. "They want war," he said. "Let's show them what war really means." Lieutenant Mara stepped forward. "Sir, we have new intel." Our signal sparked revolts across 5 colonies. Even some of their own soldiers are surrendering. Good, Voss replied. Send them a message. Earth doesn't conquer, we protect. But we don't forgive monsters. Suddenly, the eye spoke. Commander. Incoming message. Priority 1. Voss nodded. Put it through. The face on the screen wasn't what they expected. It was a young Czarine officer. Nervous, eyes darting behind her. My name is Lyra. I don't have long. I'm a communications officer on Czarine Battle Station, Drak 17. The Emperor is planning something. Something big. He's going to wipe out the outer human colonies. 5 targets, 1 strike. Mara's face went pale. When? In 3 days, Lyra said. They're using an old asteroid weapon. It was banned centuries ago. The screen flickered. A loud noise came from behind her. I have to go, she whispered. I believe in what you're doing. Don't stop. The screen went black. Everyone stood frozen. Prep the fleet, Voss said. We strike tonight. The Earth fleet moved through space like silent ghosts, cloaked, focused, 15 warships, 4 stealth cruisers. Dozens of fighters at their center, the Valor inside the strategy room. Voss pointed at the giant asteroid floating near a massive Czarine space station. The weapon had no engines. But it didn't need them. A gravity slingshot would send it flying at terrifying speed. It would hit cities, tear through shields, destroy planets, destroy the slingshot before they launch. Voss ordered. Take the station, no civilian deaths, fast and clean. And the Emperor? Mara asked. Voss paused. If he's there. He doesn't leave. The battle began without a sound. Earth's fighters flew through asteroid fields, dodging debris. The station's defense towers lit up, but they were slow. Old tech cut through their rear. Mara shouted, leading the charge. Explosions danced across space like fireworks. But deadlier, inside the station, chaos spread. Commander Voss led the main strike team. They breached the control tower and stormed the halls. Czarine guards fought hard, but not smart. They're desperate. Voss said that they reached the control room, that it was empty. Where's the launch key? Voss barked. Suddenly, the eye chimed. Sir, I've hacked internal systems. The asteroid is already in motion. What? Mara said. But it's not even fully charged. Doesn't matter, Voss growled. Once it picks up speed, it can't be stopped. They had minutes. Outside, Earth's engineers raced toward the giant slingshot's power core. It was glowing. Pulsing red, almost ready. Plant the charges, one yelled. We blow the whole slingshot offline. 5 seconds. Another shouted. They set the explosives and flew back fast. The blast was like a small sun, tearing through the device, sending the asteroid spinning off course harmless now. Drifting into deep space. On board the Valor, cheers erupted. But Voss wasn't smiling. Where's the Emperor? He asked. That's when the second part of the plan revealed itself. Another Czarine fleet appeared. 50 ships. Dark, massive, silent led by the Emperor's personal flagship, the Red Fang. They waited for us. Mara whispered. It's a trap, Gray said. They wanted us here all together. Too bad, Voss muttered. We brought more guns than they did. The Valor charged forward, firing instantly. All across space, ships clashed. Lasers cut the sky. Fighters danced like angry wasps. The Red Fang targeted Earth's smaller ships. One exploded. Then another. We're losing too many, Mara said. Pull them back, Voss commanded. Focus fire on the Fang. Cut off the head. The Valor took hit after hit. Sparks flew. Alarms blared. Shields down to 40%. Shouted the engineer. Keep pushing. Voss yelled. Then dash boom. The Red Fang's engines lit up in flames. Mara stared. Their core is overheating, Gray grinned. Their pride blinded them. Finish it, Voss said. All Earthships fired together, one united barrage of light. The red fang broke apart in the sky. The explosion lit up everything. And inside that ship, the Emperor burned with it. After the battle, silence returned to space. But it was a different silence now. Earth had struck back, hard. The galaxy had watched. And they had seen more than just war. They had seen the wrath of Earth, but not out of hate. Out of love for the innocent, for peace, for justice. Commander Voss stood on the bridge, bruised but standing tall. "We don't start wars," he said softly. "But if someone thinks we'll lie down and die." He looked out at the stars. "They're going to learn the hard way." The war was over, but peace had not yet begun. For the first time in history, the galaxy called for justice, not just for one planet or species, but for all. The Galactic Assembly summoned a trial not of one man, but of a whole empire. The Zarin were accused of war crimes, genocide, and hiding ancient truths that had nearly destroyed humanity. Earth was invited as both witness and accuser. Commander Voss, battle-scarred and quiet, arrived on the central station orbiting the neutral planet Zereth. Around him stood over 50 alien species. Some were former enemies, others were longtime allies. All watched in silence. "Do you trust this trial?" Mara asked, walking beside him. "No," Voss replied, "but I trust the truth." Inside the court, the seats were shaped like stars. At the center, a floating ring of light served as the stage. It was called the Circle of Judgment. The accused stood inside, what remained of the Zarin leadership. No emperor. He was dead. In his place stood a general, tall, silver-skinned, cold-eyes. General Nyrik. He looked at the crowd without fear. "I do not beg," he said. "We acted as we were trained. Earth was a virus. We only tried to protect the galaxy." A soft murmur ran through the room. Commander Voss stepped into the circle. "You didn't protect the galaxy," he said. "You tried to erase a people who refused to kneel. You enslaved worlds. You silenced knowledge. You used ancient weapons to wipe out cities. We found your secret files. Everyone saw them." Nyrik didn't flinch. "And yet here you stand," the general said. "Alive, victorious. You talk of justice, but what you want is revenge." A member of the assembly leaned forward. A three-eyed alien with a soft voice. "Earth," she said, "this is not a place for anger. Bring us your final proof." Voss nodded to Mara. She activated a small device. A projection appeared, one showing video logs, intercepted messages, and recorded orders. Screens played across the chamber. Screams, collapsing cities, starving children, hidden prisons, and then something even worse, a lab. Inside it, a Zarin scientist spoke to the camera. "We discovered the human genome holds code from an ancient race, not Zarian. Something older, far more dangerous. It adapts, learns. We must destroy them before they evolve beyond control." The room froze. "Play it again," someone whispered. The video played a second time. Mara's voice was calm. "You weren't at war with humans. You were at war with your fear." Another voice rang out, rough and deep. "That video, is it real?" "It's verified by over 20 species," Mara answered. "They killed to hide the truth." Nyrik laughed. "You still don't understand," he said. "We didn't fear you because of your weapons. We feared what you might become." Voss stepped closer. "And still, you lost." The chamber fell into deep silence. Then the lead judge stood, a glowing being made of pure light. "Final words?" The judge asked Nyrik. He looked around the room. "This isn't justice. It's fear in a new form. Today, you cheer for Earth. Tomorrow, you'll fear them too." Voss said nothing, because he knew one thing. Earth never wanted this power. They had only ever wanted to be left alone. Later, outside the trial chamber, reporters surrounded Voss and Mara. "Commander," one asked, "does Earth want control now?" "No," Voss said. "We don't want to rule. We just want the galaxy. To stop punishing the strong for surviving." "What will happen to Nyrik?" another asked. "He'll face the sentence," Mara answered. "But more important than punishment is change." That night, the verdict was delivered. Guilty. The Zarin military command was dissolved. Their technology banned. Their weapons dismantled. And their former colonies were given freedom under the protection of a new alliance. Earth did not demand tribute. They asked for one thing only: no more secrets. On their way back to Earth, Vo stood near the viewing window of the ship. Stars passed slowly, peacefully. Mara walked up beside him. "Think this will hold?" she asked. Vo shrugged. "Maybe, maybe not, but at least now they know we won't." "Stay silent," she smiled. "And if they forget?" He turned toward her. "Then the galaxy will face something worse than war." He looked out at the stars again. "They'll face the trial of Earth's memory." The war had ended, but the galaxy was far from healed. Commander Voss stood on the bridge of the Valor, looking out at the stars. The endless darkness held memories, pain, hope, and a promise. "Commander," Mara said softly, stepping beside him. "The people want to know what comes next." Voss nodded slowly. "We protected the innocent. We fought monsters and stood for justice, but legacy is more than battle. It's what we leave behind." Across the galaxy, word of Earth's courage had spread. Worlds once silent now spoke openly. New alliances formed. Old enemies reconsidered, but shadows still lingered. Deep in the ruins of the Zarin Empire, hidden forces stirred. Loyalists whispered of revenge, of power lost, of a chance to strike back. On the Valor, a strange signal pulsed through the communication system. Mara tapped the screen. "Commander, this is not from any known source. It's old, ancient." Voss frowned. "Play it." A hologram appeared. A wise, aged alien with glowing eyes spoke in a calm voice. "To those who protect, remember this: power without wisdom becomes destruction. The true legacy is not in war, but in peace." The message ended. Voss sighed. "We have much to learn." Meanwhile, on a quiet moon, Lieutenant Gray trained new recruits. Young humans, aliens, and former Zarin soldiers who had chosen peace. One recruit asked, "Lieutenant, why fight if we want peace?" Gray smiled. "Because sometimes peace must be protected with strength, but never with hatred." Back on Earth, the Council gathered. They sent envoys to every corner of the galaxy. Not as conquerors, but as protectors. "Let the galaxy see who we really are," Voss said. "But peace is never simple." A warning came from a small colony. Ships were disappearing. Signals lost. Voss and Mara led a team to investigate. They found a hidden weapon left over from the war. A device designed to destroy entire planets silently. "We never destroyed them all," Mara said. "This is the last shadow of war." The team worked fast. They disarmed the weapon, but the act sent a ripple across space. A message arrived. The voice was cold. "This is not over. Earth's promise will be tested again." Voss looked at Mara. "We protect the innocent. That is our legacy. And we will keep that promise, no matter the cost." Years later, legend spoke of Earth's warship and its crew. A story told by stars. Of courage, justice, and a promise. A promise that echoes through the galaxy. Protect the innocent. Stand for peace. Never forget. Commander Voss smiled faintly. As the Valor sailed on, "The Protector's legacy," he whispered, "and it's only just begun." The end.